Hi y'all. Sorry, it's been a while. I actually tried to make this part 2 to that book, COVID, The Great Reset, that Klaus Schwab wrote. I tried to make it yesterday, and for some reason I turn on that thing and it just randomly turns off. So I was talking to myself for like 30 minutes for no reason because it was off. And I just kind of got frustrated with it because I haven't been feeling well. Like, was really unwell on Friday and nauseous and seeing double and had to lay down on the ground kind of thing. So I figured, since today is the first day that I'm somewhat operational and able to walk down the road in the past 3 or 4 days, I'm gonna make hay while the sun is still shining. So I don't know how many of you people are. I just kind of wanted to talk about what's going on in the world, right? Like, are any of you guys feeling really lonely and kind of separated from everyone? Because I am. I almost feel like this game is starting to force me out. I'm going to talk spiritually here, kind of right now. I feel like there's like some sort of spiritual game going on here. And those of us like me who will not participate are kind of being attacked. And it could just be a coincidence, right? For instance, that woman I told you about that married my uncle, the gold digger, right? She won't leave me alone. Like, she keeps writing me. She wrote me for my birthday, texted me, and I want nothing to do with her because she literally stole everything from my uncle and left nothing for me, who, he promised to take care of because he's the one who threw me into the army in the first place. And it's going to come to a point where I can't work anymore. And then I'm going to have nothing thanks to her. So I told her off about it. And of course she didn't answer me. And my sister got really mad at me. Because my sister is used to me being like a kind person who lets people get over on them, She's used to me, like, our whole growing up. She treated me like trash. And that's kind of her thing. And she goes around kissing other people's arse that's not of her family, right? She is the kind of person who goes and begs and and pleads and wants everybody to like her, except for her own family. She doesn't really care about us. In fact, the two people who care about her the most, me and my mom, we're like the only people she doesn't listen to. Like, she listens to these abusive people who treat her like crap. She listens to them. And like her ex-husband, she's mad at me because earlier this year I told him exactly what I thought about him, and to leave my sister alone and divorce her finally and quit fucking with her head, because that's what he's like. He's the kind of guy who's always telling you what he's done for you, telling you, but not actually doing anything for you, He's this rich guy who wants a trophy wife, but then he wants to nickel and dime you to death about everything you bought. Well, you don't tell a girl to stop working and that you're going to have children and then never touch her again and never give her any children, right? And you screw up her professional life by telling her to quit because you have enough money, you're a multimillionaire, you have enough money to take care of her, but then resent her and tell her you don't want to take care of her and that you would like her more if she had a job. I mean, that's what you got going on in this world, right? You always got someone, if you're a decent person, you always got someone like screwing with you. And that's what I've been noticing this week. So I don't know if you guys remember, I told you about this guy that's a general, retired Marine Corps general that was a friend of mine. Went to the Naval Academy. He's a lot older than me. Like, he's General Petraeus' friend. That tells you how old he is. Like 20, 23, 25 years older than me. Anyways, so this week, he's back again trying to brainwash me into believing that this is a pandemic. And of course, a few weeks ago, same thing. So I sent him, the real CDC stats on how many people died. And I said, it's still not real. And, back in March, he was writing me to ask if I was okay in Manhattan. I said, yeah, I'm fine. I'm like, look at these videos I have. Look at the hospitals. Like, they're lying on the news. Look at these tents. They're completely empty. And, he wouldn't believe me. And I got pretty pissed off. This is I don't know, 3-4 months ago. And I was like, okay, if you don't want to believe me, then, why are you asking me stuff? Like, it's like you sent a lieutenant on a reconnaissance mission with a camera, and the lieutenant comes back, and you don't believe them. You believe what CNN's telling you. So anyways, this week he did it again, sent me some nonsense from, the New York Times about how many people have died from Hoaxid-19. And I just was like, first of all, I used to run PCR tests in the lab. I know what it is. And it's preposterous to use it as a test for a virus because it's an amplification method. And so what? You have one strand of a virus in your body and then you multiply it by 1,000,000 times and it seems like it's a problem, doesn't it? It doesn't prove anything. It doesn't prove that it killed you, right? You have to have some sort of viral load report. You have to have an autopsy to prove. It's like if I got hit by a bus right now, walking down this road, if you swab my skin, you'd find E. coli, you'd find staph. Just because I have that in my body, right? Dying with something isn't the same as dying of it. I tried to explain that to him. And then I said, this is not even constitution. I don't even care if 50% of us died from some sort of plague. If this is real, even if half of us died from the plague, the other half of us don't deserve to be bankrupted, forced to stay in our house, enslaved, taking all of our rights away. And I was kind of like, if you can't support the Constitution, we can't be friends. Okay? And leave me alone. Stop writing to me. Because obviously we disagree and you don't respect me enough to respect that I have a differing opinion than you do. So, yesterday I got the response email about my hubris, right? That I know better than all the experts. Yeah, because I'm not being paid like the experts are. The experts are being paid quite a bit of money, $54,000 a case to tell you that people have Hoaxid-19, right? They're afraid to lose their license. They're afraid to say something, right? Either that or they enjoy the money. And yeah, maybe it is hubris, excessive self-confidence. But who the hell is he to tell me I have excessive self-confidence, right? Oh, and then he said, the reason why you don't have a man, you don't have a relationship in your life is, because of your hubris. And, I've tolerated your conspiracy theories for long enough, right? Conspiracy theories. So me posting articles that the world government wrote is a conspiracy theory. Me posting something that the CDC wrote is a conspiracy theory. There are conspiracies. Every day someone's conspiracy to commit murder, conspiracy to commit fraud, conspiracy to commit rape, whatever. But, the world government getting together every year in Davos and other places, the Bilderbergs, Trilateralists, that's not a conspiracy. Oh no. What is that then? Yeah, so I just find it very interesting that the world really doesn't like it when you stand up for yourself, do they? The game doesn't like it when you won't participate, right? Basically, you can do anything except not comply. And when you don't comply and you don't want to obey, that's when the game gets really mad at you, doesn't it? And then they send their little minions after you to tell you, to try to chop you down. I mean, it's just straight up, textbook, stuff they're doing to you, psychological abuse, right? Telling me, and he's saying, how dare you judge me about the Constitution? Well, you just judged me and told me the reason why I don't have any friends and I don't have a boyfriend is because of my conspiracy theories. Well, first of all, I do have friends. Second of all, I've never gone out on a date with a guy and talked about conspiracy theories. Like, most of the time if you go out on a date with a guy, he talks the whole damn time anyways, right? So how would he know? Unless he's like spiritually attuned and somehow just magically knows that that I know things, right? And I talk to different people about different things because I know there's only certain people can handle certain things, right? Like my mom wanted to tell a friend of hers about the switch skeletons that roll over us, and I said, don't you dare. You know, she's a leftist, and she's never, you can't trust them, right? When they're really far left, to the point where, you know, they're in love with Hillary and all of that, like there's no telling them the truth. Probably the same with the far right stuff. I don't know very many people like that. Most of the people I know that have gone towards the right have actually gone towards more being libertarian, just because they see that there's no difference at the top, right? And like, oh, so this general is also telling me, you know, about my hatred for West Point and the Army. Yeah, because the Army and West Point treated me like shit, okay? The Army tried to throw me out with 10% disability when I was bedridden in a neck brace with a paralyzed right arm. And they had a secret medical board and got rid of me at 10%. And then I went up to Walter Reed to fight them about it. And my lawyer wouldn't even let me appear before the board, right? And he got me 20% when they kicked me out. Wouldn't let me appear before the board and testify for myself. And then, you know, when I got back to Fort Bragg, because I wanted to keep fighting, and my husband was there, he helped them, like, close ranks around me and not help me, okay? My husband and that lawyer, after that trial, he wouldn't even answer my emails or my calls. Yeah, this is how they treat you. But I'm the bad guy, right? I'm the bad guy because, what, I'm supposed to just accept being kicked in the teeth? Right? And then when I got out of the Army and I went to the VA, they denied service connection to my injuries, which were sustained while I was pulling jump master duties on a C-130 at Normandy Drop Zone. Okay? Right? So what are they saying? That, like, I wasn't on duty that day? They had some civilian throwing people out of the fucking aircraft? No, it was me. So then I fought them for, like, they had to pay me, like, 4 years of back veterans pay because they refused service connection. And if I had sworn statements from the DZSO and the ADZSO at the drop zone as to what happened that day. And if I hadn't had those, they probably would have been able to get rid of me and never pay me anything. Right? And then when I go to West Point stuff, let me tell you something about West Point. The guys at West Point, there are some nice guys there, but let me tell you what. The vast majority of them would say stuff like, you know, cadet girls are all fat, ugly whores, right? And they would call us gray trow because of the gray, you know, the wool gray trousers we wore. And if they had sex with a cadet girl, it was called getting your gray wings. Okay? And they were always making fun of us and saying we had fupa. I didn't even know what, you know, fat upper pussy area. I didn't even know what that was when I went there. Right? And they're making fun of the way a woman's pelvis is tilted, right? Like a woman's pelvis tilts so that you always have a tiny bit of looks like belly, right? Always. And the fatter you are, obviously, the more you have. And like, especially at that time, man, I was in good shape. I didn't have anything like that going on. But that's the kind of stuff they would say about us, right? And even guys that were my friends, supposedly, when they would see that another cadet guy was dating cadet girl, they would say stuff like, oh man, you can do better than that. You're going out with gray trow? Ew. You know, this one guy said that in front of me and I just went like crying to my room. And he came over to the room to try to explain it to me. And I was like, what kind of explanation is there? Like, that's what you think of cadet girls, right? And it's really crazy too, because that guy, before I got married, he found out I was engaged and he wrote to me and was like, did you ever like me? And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Did I ever like you? You used to run through woman after woman after woman. And then you said this horrible stuff about cadet girls in front of me. What, I'm supposed to like you? And he got mad. He hasn't talked to me ever since. That's like 1999. Or no, I'm sorry, that's the year 2000. But, you know, I can't even... That's what you're dealing with when you're at West Point. You're dealing with guys like that. And then, you know, if they can lower your self-esteem, right? Because they especially hate to see a woman with self-esteem, right? Telling me I have hubris excessive self-confidence. Interesting, like one of the definitions is excessive self-confidence or pride leading to nemesis, right? Like you're rebelling against the gods. That's the Greek definition of it. So is that what they're saying, right? A veiled kind of thing, that I'm rebelling against the gods or whatever controls this world? Probably. Leading to nemesis, then you have a nemesis. Well, okay, fine. Go ahead. But yeah, so it's kind of funny how he can be mad at me for saying, if you can't support the Constitution, we can't be friends, and saying that I'm judging him. Well, yeah, I'm judging you. Just like you're judging me and throwing everything you can think of to try to hurt me, right? Oh, you're a single woman. You evil spinster. I was already married, okay, a-hole? I know what a bunch of controlling fucks you guys are. All right? And unless I find someone who's not like you and who isn't there to, like, chop me down, I don't want you. There is nothing wrong with being alone. Being alone is freaking amazing because no one is there putting you down and making you feel like crap about yourself for having an opposite opinion, right? Or, for having experiences and having a brain, right? Well, because I don't work for Big Pharma and I don't work for Big Agri and I don't work for the government anymore, my opinion no longer matters? Okay. Because I'm not being paid to call people hoaxed 19 cases, my opinion doesn't count? Okay, sure. It sounds legit. You still can't. What about the Constitution, huh? We're supposed to have rights? And even without the Constitution, common law. You don't have the right to force us to be injected. You don't have the right to force us to wear a mask over our face like we're some sort of freaking criminal, right? And to hurt ourselves, because it does hurt you, right? Not having enough oxygen in your blood is called hypoxia. HYP, before anything, means lack of, right? Hypothyroid, hypoxia, all of those things means lack of, right? Well, who needs that? I mean, are that people that smart in this? Like, I know I'm not that smart that I need to operate without oxygen in my brain and blood. I mean, I'm so dizzy all the time anyways with this stupid head injury. Like, for me, wearing a mask could be the dumbest thing ever. And like, the last thing I need to do is have another seizure. Yeah, that sounds fun. Let me go to the hospital for you because you want to force me to wear a mask around. This is all about control. And if it weren't about control, then people wouldn't be fighting you so bad about it. Like, why are you fighting me? Why is this general? First of all, who the hell who is, friends with Petraeus, right? Like, up there in the echelons. And Petraeus' wife looks like a dude, by the way. If you looked at it, like, imagine the hair is gone. Looks like a short little man. I don't know. Are they switch skeletons at that level at the army? I mean, it would kind of make sense that they are, right? Because they're the ones who are literally going to war without Congress's approval, right? President's like, oh, go to war. And none of the generals are like, well, then have the Congress declare war. Never, right? Like, what is the deal with that? I mean, I remember at 9/11 thinking to myself, well, why are we going to war if the war hasn't been declared, right? And the Congress back then even took, I don't know, it was a couple years after they started this. Congress took their powers to declare war, and they passed a bill basically passing the buck to the president, saying that, he could wage war. That's not how it works, right? We don't follow the Constitution at all. And, there's a lot of libertarians who don't like the Constitution, and, I mean, I do understand that. But, I mean, if we used the Constitution, we'd be a whole sight better than we are now. That's all I can say. But yeah, and I also told this general, like, what is the point? Your side is already won. I've said this several times. Your side is already won, right? You should be happy. You're going to get contact tracers just like the KGB here, doing whatever they want. And I said, you'll probably have people like me who don't believe what's on the TV killed. And that's not enough for you? What else do you need? Well, you need me to like believe in my soul, like swear that I'm a believer and be baptized in the hoax at 19 bullshit? Is that what you need? Like, why does he even care? Why does he even care? Like, who the hell am I for a retired general? You know, I'm not your child. I'm not your wife. Why do you even care what I think? Huh? You don't understand my situation and how I've been treated by the military, so you don't understand why I don't like them. Right? And oh yeah, I'm evil to talk about them. Yeah, I'm evil. They're the ones who are evil to try to kill me. Right? If they wanted someone who supported them, they should have supported me instead of throwing me out like I was freaking hamburger or day old bread. Right? The army is a meat grinder. You go in and you're perfect and you come out all effed up, and then they don't want to help you. But then you're bad. You're the bitter one. You're evil and bad. You know, this whole world is just gaslighting, isn't it? Just constant gaslighting. And the better the person you are, it's like the more bullshit they're going to heap at you, because they want you to follow along. Well, I'm tired of following along. I tried that for many years, right? I tried being good and following along and keeping my mouth shut. And it never worked, right? It just actually got people to be meaner to me, right? So now that I don't give a rat's ass, now that I don't care and I will tell anyone off, I'm getting some pushback. It really pisses them off, right? Really, people that want to rule over you and tell you what to do, like the general, right? Can't handle that, you know, this ain't the military anymore and you don't outrank me. Sorry, you can't. What are you gonna do? You gonna break my neck again? You gonna hurt me? Do it. In fact, you can just drive on over here and shoot me for all I care. I don't care. I don't care. You know, and that's the funny thing about this realm, is that from what I see, in their greed to like devour your negative energy, they ruin some people's lives so bad that they have no reason to stay here anymore. They have no reason to come back, right? Like if we're truly trapped here and they want to keep reincarnating us here so they can suck off of our soul's energy. Well, they kind of just go overboard with their feeding frenzies sometimes with certain people like me, who are just done. Like, I'm done. I have no reason to be here anymore. I have no reason to follow the rules. I have no reason. So they kind of messed up. Like, if they had let me have just a couple of the dreams that I wanted, right? Just one or two even. Anything that I had ever wanted. Then, you know, maybe I wouldn't be so against their system, right? So a lot of people, you know, they're like, oh, you're not grateful. And yeah, no, I'm not really grateful. I'm in pain every fucking second of every day of every night. I wake up exhausted every day. And you send people like this to tell me that I have too much pride and too much confidence, right? You know, as if he's the freaking judge and jury of my life. I mean, the biggest problem I had my whole life was not having any self-confidence and not having enough, right? And just being run over by people and taking people at their word and that they were good and that they had my, what do you call it? My good in mind, and they don't, right? And they don't like it when you escape from the reservation, do they? And basically, they're trying to do all of us like they did the Indians. Throw them on the reservation. It's going to be worse, though, with this electronic thing they got going on. That's the scariest part. And the vaccine, you know, it's coming. And I don't know. I need to research more about that, about the change, how they're going to change our DNA. I know it said something about the immune system, that they want to train our immune system to work differently, which kind of scares me because they may be training it to attack ourselves more, right? Because they've been putting ingredients like squalene in there for many years, and squalene actually is in every cell of the body. So you're training, right, with their premise on vaccines is that we're training the immune system to respond to what's in the vaccine. Well, you're also training the immune system to respond to squalene, not just some virus that they chopped up and put in there, right? You're also training it to respond to like the bovine cells in there, right? Make someone maybe allergic to beef. You're also, they've been putting like, they have human fetal lines, cell lines that they've been using for this. So are they making you allergic to human fetuses? Which would be especially a problem with girls, right? Because if you became pregnant and your body is allergic to that now, thanks to vaccines. It's kind of what they were doing in the tetanus shots in Africa. They were caught putting human chorionic gonadotropin, which is the it's the hormone that allows a woman to stay pregnant, right? So the body doesn't reject the fetus as being foreign. That hormone suppresses the human body from getting rid of the pregnancy. So they were putting HCG into these tetanus vaccines that they were giving to women in Africa, and they were giving them 5 rounds of it. You know, who needs 5 rounds of a tetanus vaccine? What is there, like an epidemic of rusty nails over there? Is that what we got going on? So, I don't know. They're up to something with their vaccine. And I really kind of hope that this is all not spiritual, right? Like maybe I'm just crazy because I'm not feeling well. And so I'm starting to think in a spiritual manner, you know what I mean? How people kind of detach from reality. Maybe that's really my problem. I don't know. And what if I am wrong about this pandemic, right? I mean, I don't see how I am because I can't prove that it exists in real life. I can only prove that it exists on the TV, right? I can go to all these hospitals. I can go to the graveyards, not see anything special, right? So that's why I don't believe in it. You know, and if I haven't been able to prove it since March that it's happening, and I still don't know anyone who has died of the flu, what does that tell you? And they tell you everybody has it now, right? Anytime you go to the hospital for anything, you're being called that. You go there for a stroke, and they have to test you for that. You know, because they can't wait to put stroke, you know, on the list of things that COVID gives you. Anyways, well, hopefully I can get back to making some of those videos and I can figure out why it keeps turning off like in the middle of me doing stuff. It's really annoying because when I finally get the energy to do something, I would like for it to stick. Alright, well, I hope y'all are doing good. I'm going to end my little ramble here. I don't know if any of you guys have any experiences like I do recently with kind of the system throwing things at you, but it would be interesting to hear it. Alright, take care. Bye.